Hey guys, welcome back. Just like to show you a few things I've got in the mail this week. First and foremost, Mski361, Brian, and I did I guess a mutual AOK or a trade. He uh, he had asked me a while back. I guess I had mentioned I was missing some defenders issues, and I was trying to complete that run, and I didn't get back to him right away. As you know, life is crazy and all that. And then he asked me again, so I told him which ones I was looking for, and so then I asked him as well, "Is there something you're looking for?" And he asked like if I had any doubles of some commandy issues, which naturally I do. So he helped me out. I helped him out. It was a great mutual trade or AOK, and I just want to show you the Defenders books he sent me, along with some other stuff I got in the mail. Here we have Defenders 134 with a nice Kevin Nolan cover. Let's see. Okay, get a text from my folks. Just anytime I get something, I'm worried. It shouldn't be that way, but that's just the nature of it when your folks get older. And Defenders 135, Bill Sienkiewicz on the cover. I gotta say, when the new Defenders came out, with Gargoyle and the Beast, and it was like a X-Men cast-off party. Beast, Iceman, Angel, Valkyrie was still there, but that was about it. I wasn't a big fan, but I knew I was getting close on completing it, and I think after, see, he sent me 7 or 8 issues here. I think I may be 13 shy of the 152 run, and plus, there was all the annuals and the giant size, and I do believe I've got all those. So really happy that he could help me out. This is a cool cover. Sergeant Fury and his Howling Defenders, number 147. Good stuff. 148. I think there's Terry Schumacher on the cover here. 149. And I think this is another Kevin Nolan cover. 150, double-sized issue. Pretty cool cover. I think a lot of the pencils around this time were done by Don Perlin and Buscema. And here's a Butch Geis cover, number 129. We just recently lost Mr. Geis, another legend in the comic world. He will be missed. And number 92. This is more like what we would call the classic Defenders, and there's got Eternity on the cover. I'm not sure who did this, but this is a cool cover. Got Damon Hellstrom, Son of Satan. Got Valkyrie, Hulk, Doctor Strange, Hellcat. Yeah, that's a good lineup right there. So, Brian, thank you very much, buddy. I really appreciate it. That'll go a long way in knocking that last chunk that I need out of that run. And hopefully soon I'll be able to complete that. I got online, I made out an order to my comic shop. I had a gift card. And I was just kind of curious. Now, you bring up the name Rob Liefeld, and it's either like, people don't care, they really like him, or they love him, or they hate him. He's kind of a controversial figure, and a lot of people don't like his art. Some people do like his art. I remember when Image Comics first came out. I was like everybody else. I was all hot. Hey, a new comic company. New heroes. There's all kinds of team books coming out, and I really was looking forward to Youngblood and all the stuff that Liefeld ended up doing, like Brigade and Supreme, and just on and on and on and on. And it wasn't for everybody. They didn't like his art, or they didn't like that they said he couldn't draw feed, and they said he didn't do enough backgrounds and this, that, and the other. And that's okay. Everybody can like what they like. Just I was just kind of curious because I'd heard he had done his last work for Marvel. It's called Deadpool Team Up, and I think some of it was at least due to a slight at the Deadpool Wolverine premiere where him and his family didn't go to the after party, didn't get to go to the after party, whatever. And there was a bunch of other stuff. I've listened to some of his podcasts, and they're actually really entertaining because the guy he's got a lot of energy, and he can talk. And but he's funny to listen to. I love listening to old stories and everything. And whether you like or hate or just don't care about Rob Liefeld, I thought I would get that last series he did called Deadpool Team Up. But the covers are cool. You got Deadpool, Hulk, Wolverine, I think Spider-Gwen, Crystar, Major X. So like I say, love him or hate him. I just thought it was kind of cool, and I thought I'd check it out. Here's issue 2. And issue 3. There's one for Rod, prominently featuring old Jade Jaws. And number 4, The Return of Major X. And number 5, last issue. So I kind of thumbed through it. It looked pretty interesting. So I'll be reading that sometime. Something else of his I was interested in was The Fighting American. And anyone that's followed that whole drama, Marvel was trying to sue him, I think, for use of the character. And long story, but I thought I'd check some of that out. I just got one issue. I guess this came out from Awesome Entertainment back in the 90s or early 2000s. I'm not sure. But Fighting American by Rob Liefeld. Okay, now we'll get in some older books. Here's a couple issues I needed. If anybody remembers the old Armageddon 2001 storyline from DC back in the early 90s and all the crossovers. This is one of the spin-off series. Armageddon, the Alien Agenda. It features Monarch and Captain Atom. And issue 4 was the other one I needed. And this is covered by Dick Giordano. So I kind of, Armageddon 2001 was, it was okay. I mean, I liked it. I think Todd McFarlane and Keith Giffen were involved in that one. Lots of heroes, my type of thing. And then there's spin-offs like Armageddon, the Alien Agenda, Armageddon Inferno, where the JSA finally got to come back from that infinite time loop they were in. So that was good. So just something to kind of finish that up. Also picked up 2 more issues of Skull of a Slayer, which finishes out my run. Here's issue number 3. And issue number 4. Just a 8-issue run. Pretty interesting. Dinosaurs and swords and all kinds of good stuff going on. And I think after issue 8, I think his story continued in the Marvel 2-in-1, 35 and 36. So glad to finish that one up. And last but certainly not least, I finished up my She-Hulk run. So I was looking forward to finishing that one up. Some of these are upgrades and others I just had missing in the run. So this is one of my favorite covers of the run, if not my favorite cover. I finally got a high-grade copy of it. It's 8, and it's a great Michael Golden cover with Man-Thing. So happy to have this one. Number 19. And the biggest part of this run was done by one of my favorite artists, Mike Vosberg. Uh, may or may not have heard of him. He did a lot of work for Marvel back in the day. Did some work for. I think I really became a fan of his when he did a few things at DC. He did a few issues of Secret Society of Supervillains. I think the issues where the Crime Syndicate was in it, like 13 through 15, and maybe before that. And he also did, if I remember right, he also did the Secret Origin of Black Canary in DC Superstar 17, which was also the first appearance of Huntress, or one of the first appearances. So, and he did some black and white stuff for Marvel back in the day, and he's still doing art today. I'd really have like a chance to be able to meet him and maybe get a couple of signatures. And yeah, I'm just a big fan of his art. I think some of these, at least a lot of these, Vosberg did the pencils, and I think Frank Springer did the inks on these. And I think this is a cover by Vosberg and Al Milgrom. You can kind of tell down here it says Vos Mill on the license plate. So fun stuff. This is number 21. Nobody Escapes the Seeker. This is the Al Milgrom cover. Number 22. The She-Hulk battered by the vicious vibratory vortex of Radius. Number 23. The She-Hulk War. Vosberg and Terry Austin on the cover. Some of these are newsstand. Some of them are direct. And that's a rabbit hole I'm not going to go down. And as long as I've got the series, whether it came from a newsstand or a comic book store, I don't really care. Just as long as they're in the collection. And the only difference is the little box in the corner. You can tell the newsstand versus the direct. So I know a lot of people like to collect all the newsstand stuff. I think my buddy Dr. Von Chilla is big on that. And me, it's it's okay, but I really don't care. This is an upgrade from an original I had because my original is well loved. There's another one by Vosberg and Terry Austin, The Day the Earth Screamed. That's a pretty neat cover. Other than like the first issue though, these aren't hard on the wallet. And it's a fun little series. And this is one I never did have the last issue. Another Vosberg and Austin cover. Really nice. Number 25, last issue. The End of the She-Hulk. I don't think it was. Because later on she had lots more adventures. She was with Fantastic Four for a while during the John Byrne run and the Avengers. And she's been all over the place. So, really happy to put that one to bed along with Skull the Slayer. Those will probably be very soon on my series complete videos. Hopefully soon. But I just thought I'd show you guys what I'd been gathering this week. And as always, I appreciate you guys checking out the video, taking time out of your weekend, and you could be doing anything else. So I'm grateful that you guys are interested in what I'm doing, and I hope you're all having a great weekend. Onward and upward.